Have you ever felt burnt out on anime? Over the past 15 years, I've completed nearly 900 anime, and I've become tired of watching them on several occasions. But of course, I love anime, so I always come running back for more. Today's video is part 1 of my 2-part series on revitalizing your anime experience. Today I'm covering tips to beat anime burnout. Tomorrow, I'll be sharing my eccentric but thorough methods for finding the best anime for you. I think many get tired of anime simply because they're looking to scratch a specific itch, but they don't know how to find anime that satiate their cravings, so I think these two topics go together. My first tip for beating burnout is to analyze your emotions and determine what you need before choosing what to watch. Although anime has the potential to brighten your day, it's only 50% of the equation. The other half is your mood, a substantial variable. I've heard plenty say that anime cured their depression, but unfortunately, I've also listened to some of the same people say they're giving up on anime because they can't consistently experience the same profound emotional impact. Your experience with anime is like anything else in life, jaded by your perspective and emotions. Although that sounds like a negative, it can also be a powerful tool that allows you to enjoy a particular anime far more than your peers. It's how the community can rate an anime a 6 or 7, but individuals can rate it a 10. Although the story is the same for everyone, some are prone to enjoy it more than others based on their personality, emotions, and tastes. Anime is about enjoyment, emotion, and art. Ideally, we should strive to become the person who chooses their anime so accurately that they continuously score above the community average. Although consistently choosing anime you'll love may sound far-fetched, it is possible provided you do a bit of research and relax your criteria. Allow your emotions to guide you in the direction of specific themes or experiences instead of genres, demographics, release dates, or art styles. I often find that anime fans limit their exposure by restricting the type of stories they'll watch. If it's not the right genre, if it's too old, or if they don't like how it looks, then they won't watch it, despite it being thematically similar to some of their favorite anime. They're depriving themselves of top 10 material simply because of aesthetics. The great thing about anime is that it often blends genres together, which can become the catalyst for your interest in other types of anime. For example, if you like sports anime but don't think you'll like romance, watch Initial D. If you like sci-fi but don't think you'll like slice of life, try Planet Test. Countless anime bridge the gap between genres. It's why I recommend searching for a specific theme or experience, because that can lead you outside of your comfort zone without you even realizing it. Now, if you're exclusively choosing current anime, then the reason why you're in a rut is that you're relying on chance. Regardless of how much thought you put into your selection, you won't know if it's entirely enjoyable until it's finished. Furthermore, you won't even know if it will have an ending because it could take years for the next season to release, if it does at all. Most of the guesswork has been taken out of older anime because the book is closed and history has already decided its cumulative score. Although community scores are not perfect, watching anything rated a 7 or above from the past 50 years will rarely steer you wrong. Remember, if you choose your anime correctly, a 7 for them could be an 8.5 for you, or an 8 could be a 10. I know it sounds daunting when I say open your mind to anime from 50 years ago, but you don't have to start with Rose of Versailles from 1979 immediately. However, you'd still enjoy it because it's an engaging and historically significant experience. It's about the French Revolution. If this were the setting of a 2022 anime, fans would drool in anticipation. I recommend gradually immersing yourself in increasingly older anime when you feel the time is right. I can only think of 3 reasons that prevent some from watching old anime. One would be the social benefit of new anime. Everyone is talking about the current season. It's easy to participate in conversations and be a part of the hype. I get it, it can be fun. However, the same is true for old anime because they have fandoms filled with passionate fans who join groups specifically for anime from a particular decade, or from a specific creator, or even a particular show. Secondly, some believe anime progresses along the same line as movies or video games, and I beg to differ. Anime, movies, and video games all share 3 of the same limitations: imagination, time, and budget. However, movies and video games suffer the additional constraints of hardware and software progression. Old anime is just a series of hand-painted sheets of plastic. There's very little linearity to speak of unless we refer to anime prior to the 1980s. What looks bad at first glance is just a different art style, though some animators do go above and beyond. Currently, the anime industry benefits from being more artistically consistent than ever. Everything looks outstanding, minus some of the CG. Although it's consistent, I feel newer anime suffer from a certain uniformity that's absent in older titles. Sometimes it feels like characters from different shows are the same drawing but with different hairstyles. Maybe that's just me. Although you can throw a rock and hit a modern anime that visually blows away something from 10 years ago, it's just an aesthetic, which is only complementary to your overall enjoyment. Suppose the aesthetics of old anime is a deal breaker for you. In that case, modern anime aesthetics are still insufficient, considering some still deal with anime burnout when watching only new shows. I think some get tired of being jerked around by poor adaptations. A good example would be Promised Neverland, a series that most loved and left them waiting for 2 years just to feel betrayed. There's no guarantee that any new anime you watch will be any different unless it's an anime original or its manga is complete and short enough to cover within one season. Lastly, people don't give old anime a chance because they assume it will feel dated, similar to how a 40-year-old movie from your own country would feel, in contrast to modern times. The way I see it is, it's all drawings and mostly fantasy. If culture shock exists in anime, then it's somewhat consistent across the board because most of us have no idea with what's going on in Japan anyways. There's little difference between a fantasy anime from the 1980s and a modern slice of life set in Japan. Both of their cultures are just as big of a mystery to us. Aesthetics are just an accessory, a bonus. Opening your horizon serves to create a controlled environment where you can experience numerous grade A anime back to back instead of relying on chance and waiting several years to see what happens, often to be disappointed. Earlier I spoke of how our emotions are a variable that can work in our favor provided we listen to them. Unfortunately, some may find themselves on the opposite end of the spectrum and continuously watch anime that score much lower than the community average. I can sympathize with this situation because I've been there myself, as evident in some of my previous reviews from years ago. Sometimes it's difficult to compartmentalize our struggles and allow ourselves to be receptive to the enjoyment of anime. In these cases, our negativity bleeds through and becomes evident when we're cynical, intolerant, take comedy seriously, and compare everything to our favorites. It's also common to find someone who watches a whole series for the sake of trashing it for being what it presented itself to be from the very beginning. I'm referring to those who sit down in front of a long series knowing it will be a negative experience to criticize it online and upset its fans. I have to admit, I've been there myself. I'm not proud of it, but I know where it leads. Anime burnout. It's essentially the exact opposite of proper emotional alignment with an anime. If you find that you're emotionally exhausted while watching a high-scoring anime, you can put it on hold. You don't have to finish every anime you start. I don't get why some non-reviewers feel the need to be so professional about their anime watching. Even if you are a reviewer, you have to consider your mental health as well. If you're not enjoying it, then what's the end goal? Maybe it gets better, or perhaps you're just not in the right mood. Why not set it aside and finish it when you are? There are thousands of anime out there. Find one that works for you. I'm not saying that all high-scoring anime are objectively good, but what's the value of stressing yourself just to release a few controversial opinions online? Most people who hear these opinions dismiss them, and those who listen will usually become unforgivingly critical of you whenever they disagree. Of all the previous symptoms, I think taking pure comedy anime seriously is likely the earliest indicator of anime fatigue. Of course, not all comedy is funny, that's fine. It's just that sometimes we're not in the right mood and jokes that we typically laugh at are picked apart and taken as serious dialogue because we're distracted or numbed by other issues in our life. To give an example, I criticized Your Lie in April for turning the physical abuse of a teen who suffered from PTSD into comedic release as being poor taste. I think this criticism still stands. However, I also criticized Food Wars for being nonsensical and not following a more serious, character-driven narrative. It should have been seen as an early indicator for anime fatigue for me in retrospect because it is evident from episode 1 what the anime was trying to be. I recently rewatched a few episodes of it and I thought it was pretty funny. Your mood can make a huge difference in your overall experience. What I've noticed in myself and others over the years is that sometimes we become exhausted while hunting for better stories than what we've already seen. It can be challenging after you've finished over 500 anime. Although I don't understand what it feels like to have seen over 1,000, my advice is still the same. While a story can be analyzed objectively based on its components such as plot progression, characterization, exposition, and so on, anime and manga aren't created under the guise of becoming a demonstrably superior narrative to everything else. They're just pieces of artistic expression. I know there's an excessive amount of isekai being released right now, but if we watch anime based on our cravings, we can try to ignore it. Furthermore, if we spread positivity regarding our actual favorites, we raise more awareness within our community. Although people in Japan don't care what we think, it's possible to sway the direction of your immediate community by drawing attention to anime you consider to be better instead of focusing on the ones you don't like. I know it's hard to self-diagnose some of these issues. Still, I think mentioning them can raise awareness and potentially save someone from eventually becoming the guy who insults someone for their taste in anime. Anime can be a great form of escapism, but escape responsibly because most problems only get worse while you ignore them. I know I'm here to reinvigorate your anime experience, but sometimes it's essential to take a break from anime and focus on our lives. I also think it's essential to evaluate the role of hobbies in our lives. I notice some people feel inundated by the waves of anime crashing in every season. It's impossible to keep up. Even people who review it for a living don't watch every show, and nobody expects you to either. I've seen a ton of anime, but it took me a long time. If I have one message regarding your pacing, it's to take your time. Treasure these moments and always try to make the most out of your experience because you'll never get it back. I remember I first watched Monster when I was feeling depressed. It's a great anime, but I wasn't in the mental state to fully enjoy it. I rewatched it recently with a good friend, and I had a blast. But you know what? I'll never be able to recapture that first-time experience. If you've only seen like 10 anime, then that's great. I envy all of the amazing experiences you're about to have. Don't rush it. Your life comes first, and anime will always be there for you when you have time. Please don't compare your anime watching habits to others because it's not a competition. Having different priorities doesn't make you any less of an anime fan, even if you can only watch one episode a week. The social aspect of anime is also a contribution to your overall enjoyment of it, but unfortunately I have little to add in that department because I have yet to iron out these issues myself. Anime has been a significant part of my life over the past decade, yet I still don't feel like I fit in with any community aside from my own. Even local groups or anime conventions, I just don't feel a connection. In fact, anime conventions are the loneliest places for me to be. During conventions, I'm surrounded by with likely the only people within 200 miles who could understand me, but yet I feel no connection. I've even been invited to host panels at anime conventions, and I just decline everything because I don't know what I'd say to those people. There's a culture associated with anime that I'm just not a part of. I watch a lot of it, but I'm just not in with the culture. I attribute the rise of Western anime culture to YouTube, and I've kind of sheltered myself from it by focusing on my own content and only watching anime videos that my friends make. That's the way we did it back in the late 2000s, and that's still how I do it today. I miss how everyone used to know each other and make video responses to each other. It was a much more close and personal experience. Essentially, I was making anime videos before the culture was formed, and I just never became part of it. Sometimes I peek my head outside of my cave and take a look at everything that's going on. I say nope and go back inside. But I can't complain though because it's basically my fault. My point is, if you find it hard to fit in with other anime fans, I can relate. I also know how difficult it can be to maintain a social life when anime is stigmatized by people who don't know anything about it. I have no solutions other than be your best self and see what happens. I know that's probably not helpful at all, so all I can offer you is a link to my free Discord. Come and hang out with us, it's in the video description. If you are lucky enough to have a few friends who are interested in anime, a great way to revitalize your enthusiasm is to share one of your favorites with them and have a watch-along party. Being with them, even if it's over voice chat, can be exciting because you're vicariously experiencing one of your favorites for the first time through their reactions. Just be sure to let them share an anime with you afterwards. I've come to realize this could suck some of the fun out of the experience for your friend because you ask them what they think, but they can't ask you the same because you can't speculate anymore. After all, you've already seen it, and you just gotta sit there quietly. There's a lot of fun in group speculation. I wanted to share a few of my methods for choosing the best anime for you at any moment. Of course, if you're only watching current anime or whatever is available on your streaming subscription, then you're choosing by chance. But how often do we win games of chance? The methods in today's video aim to reduce the element of chance and create a more controlled environment where you can consistently experience greater levels of enjoyment from your anime. Before I begin, I should give a brief introduction to the 3 anime databases I use. MyAnimeList is the site I'm accustomed to. I accept friend requests there, check comments, and regularly update it when I watch anime or read manga. I mostly use it because I've been using it for years. AnimeDB is the database I use for researching the staff of an anime because they seem to be more thorough and include information that MyAnimeList doesn't have. Finally, AniList is the site I use for choosing anime from my plan to watch list because I prefer the way their search engine works. For example, on AniList, you can filter your plan to watch list by TV specials that are both mystery and drama, then sort by popularity. I wish MyAnimeList would incorporate this feature because it's crucial for some of today's methods. In yesterday's video, I stressed the importance of seeking specific themes and similar experiences instead of genres. Genres are just loose groupings. You could watch 100 anime from the same genre and only enjoy 30% of them. It's not precise enough for you to hone in on when you're having an intense craving. In most cases, we crave something similar to an anime we've already seen. I recommend looking up the MyAnimeList profile for one of your favorites and clicking the recommended tab in these cases. It might sound like a no-brainer to some of you, but I've been on the site for years and I just started using it a couple months ago. I think it works though. It's got some good recommendations. I don't even read what people write because of potential spoiler, so instead, I just look for the number of people who agree that a particular anime is similar, then I read the synopsis or watch the trailer. If you happen to be craving anime that's unlike anything you've ever heard, then just head to Google. In most cases, you will find forum posts or YouTube videos about it. For example, if you're looking for crime dramas, murder mysteries, anime that deal with depression, or which characters have the hammiest man nipples, you'll find anything. If you want it, I guarantee someone else has already made a forum post about it somewhere on the internet. My second method steps away from similar themes and into the realm of individuals' talents. It requires that you become familiar with a breakdown of different skills necessary to create an anime. It's based on the logic that someone who does a good job will likely do other similar jobs just as well, if not better. For example, if you like the story of an anime, then go on AniDB, search for its writer or the original creator, and look at their other works. The only positions I ever look up are director, writer, original creator, character designer, and key animator. It takes many talented people countless hours of hard work to create an anime, but my brain only has limited space, so I only look for those few positions. I've seen almost 900 anime, and I still don't know the name of a single voice actor in English or in Japanese. I appreciate their work, but knowing who they are and their other jobs won't enhance my enjoyment as much as finding anime from the same artist, writer, or director. I'm generally not good with names anyways, but after several years of doing this, I can watch something and recognize that it has the same character designer from another anime I've seen, and I think that's pretty cool. I'm starting to get to the point where I can make videos on specific people that work on anime, kinda like I did with my Kentaro Miura video where I covered all of his manga at once in memory of his passing. I'm not sure if I want to do that for other people or not though, but I still think it's pretty cool that I can look at somebody's profile and say I've seen everything they've worked on. My last method for finding an anime is the most thorough, but it's also a bit eccentric and I expect most people won't do it. However, I'm putting the information out there because I've found it to be incredibly helpful. This method requires that you have a profile on AniList and MyAnimeList. Step 1. Go to MyAnimeList. Under the anime drop-down menu, click Top Anime. It gives you a list of every anime on the site by score. Each page has 50 entries. Step 2. Open all 50 entries in new tabs. You don't have to do it all at once, but it is easier that way provided you have the RAM. Once you've opened all 50 tabs, go to the next page and bookmark it. Step 3. Quickly go through all 50 tabs. Skim through trailers, review scores, and synopsis. Don't take longer than 30 seconds per page. The point of doing this is to quickly create a knee-jerk emotional response. Add anything that makes you feel remotely positive to your plan to watch list, regardless of its score or content. For this to work, you will need to keep an open mind. Don't be cynical and close everything. If you'd consider it to be a 6 out of 10 or above, then add it to your plan to watch list. Step 4. Repeat these steps at least once a week until you get down to anime that average about 6.1 out of 10. It might take several years to accomplish, but trust me, it is worth it. I did this myself, and I found hundreds of anime to add to my plan to watch list until my power supply died and I lost my progress. But it works though. The fifth and final step is to export your MyAnimeList data once a month and import it to your AniList account. I have both of these links in the description section to make things easier if you're interested. By doing this, you've essentially created a massive pool of anime that you know pique your interest. Whenever you have a craving, you can go to your AniList profile, then sort your planning list by movie, series, or OVA depending on how much time you have. Then, you can choose numerous main and subgenres simultaneously and sort by various metrics such as popularity. Regardless of what your cravings are, you'll easily find something this way. You'll never watch every anime on this list, and that's fine. The point is that it's all there when you need it, and you've already excluded any anime that doesn't evoke any positive emotions. It will allow you to make quick and easy choices. I know this sounds convoluted, but it just depends on how you prefer to choose your anime. I don't like spending an hour beforehand when I'm in the mood to watch something. I want to make a quick decision, because I am that guy. I will sit there for an hour trying to find something to watch. So hopefully this video allowed you to find many great anime that you really enjoy. If you found any great anime from using these methods, let me know about it, because I want to know that I'm not just the crazy anime guy that just does all these convoluted things that nobody thinks is really practical. But I also want to know what you guys do. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any different methods other than what I use. Also, I hope this video helped restore your enjoyment of anime. If you give up simply because you don't like the newest, most popular shows or because of Western weeaboo pop culture, then you're allowing the shows you dislike and the ideologies you disagree with to prosper because your message will be absent. I'll see you guys next time because I'm working on a lot of videos right now. Currently, I'm working on a comprehensive Genshiken review, which covers all of the anime, all of the manga, including all of the sequels, as well as Oyasumi Pun Pun, but the current season looks like it's coming close to wrapping up, and I have a lot to catch up on there. So I got a lot of reviews coming out, and I'll see you then. Have an awesome day.